Okay, welcome to Cost-Effective Online Marketing. This is basically for the independent. We talked earlier in the class how we can use the internet to drive business into our store. And this is all the same thing, but this is in far more details. We'll go through step by step. It's 7 different strategies. All right, so I'll do the introduction again for those who were not here earlier. My name is Mark Dolabany. I'm the founder and CEO of Dolabany Eyewear. When I was a very young boy, I was 12 years old, my brother's an optician, took me to work for the summer. He said I should earn some money. So I went. I ended up repairing frames, replacing hinges, a broken frame in half, I put it back together, broken in the eye wire, I put it back together, sized down the lens, fixed the groove. I used to create my own little acetate bottles and the old contact lenses. And then later on, every summer, I would do something different. I did surfacing, and eventually, when I moved to the US, I ended up in Boston, Massachusetts, and I became a licensed optician in the state of Mass. And there, about 27 years ago, I started my own brand. I started in the wholesale first, and then I started doing my own brand frames. And now, I design the frames and produce them. And I use the same hinges I used to repair as a child in my design, as you see in the photo. I want to talk about millennials, and these are the future, our future customers. Millennials are the group of the age of between 14 to 34. We know that they spend 1.8 hours a day on social media. We also know they are a bigger group than the baby boomers. In 2020, they're likely to be 1/3 of the population. So we want to specifically pay attention to this group. This is a commercial by Audi, and I specifically picked this commercial to show you how corporations focus on millennials, which we don't seem to do a lot in our business, in our industry. What Audi did is to create a commercial with a lot of technology in it. And here in this one slide, you can see how they're using the speedometer and for it's all technology and digital. Here you can see they're showing 3D printing. They're showing how you can use the tablets. They try to connect with the millennials who are constantly using their phones, their tablets. Here we see the launching of new internet sites. We know the millennials are the ones that are responsible for a lot of the internet websites, right? So they're trying to appeal. They're trying to sell the Audi car to the millennials. Here, if anybody remembers when Steve Jobs used to put out product launch, and a lot of the audience, they would stomp their feet on the ground to bring him out to the stage. That's what this picture is. Of course, if we had the movie, you would see a few seconds of it. They try to connect with the millennials. Here we actually have somebody actually launching a product. Now we look and see what Lincoln is doing. What Lincoln's doing is still using an old guy with gray hair driving a Lincoln. They're not paying attention to millennials. As a matter of fact, if one of us driving a Lincoln, most people will say, well, that's an old man's car, right? They're using also the new sponsor is McConaughey. Now, I know he doesn't have gray hair in the picture, but if I have a gray hair, then McConaughey has a gray hair. I'm sure he's dyeing his hair. But the point is, they're not keeping up with the times. And Cadillacs are doing the same thing. So the reason for my course is as I travel and talk to my customers, the subject always turns to the internet. Why are we losing sales to the internet? How do I do my website? What about this? And how do I improve there? So I try to tell my customers advice and tell them things. Then I decided to put it together in a class. The course will start off with the ABC, the basics, and we quickly will accelerate. And as far as publications, free publications for this, you can use Mashable.com, Mashable.com, or WebsiteMagazine.com. Now, Website Magazine, you can get it in print. You can also get it in digital, and you can get it in both. If you use any books or CDs about this subject, please keep in mind that it has short shelf life. If your CD or book more than 12 months old, it's too old. You need to get a new one. This industry changes a lot, and it changes fast. Here's the outline to the course. We'll talk about the basics of creating websites. We'll talk about local directories, which involves reviews as well. We'll talk about how to promote your website through video, social media, blogging, and press release. And finally, we'll discuss email blast. It's how do you contact your customers through email. These are the 7 strategies. Before I go any further, there are two phrases we need to be familiar with. One is keywords, and the other one is SEO. When a consumer goes online, for example, to Google, they'll type in words. Eyeglasses is a word. That's considered a keyword. Google will keep a track of that word, how often it's used, the age group, the zip code, and all that. All that information is saved on Google website. These are keywords. It's important to know the keywords that belong to our industry because you'll be able to target the consumer that's looking for you as an independent. SEO is search engine optimization. When the results come up on the screen, as you can see here, there's 2 sections to the results. One is called the sponsored part, and that's normally is paid for. That costs anywhere between $2 to $3 each hit. And there's the organic section. The organic section is the one that we want to focus on for 2 reasons. One, it's free. 2, the consumer trusts the organic section more because they believe that's true results. Has nothing to do with paying for it. And that's what we want to focus on. Coming up near the top of the organic section results, that's called SEO, search engine optimization. And you'll get a lot of emails. When you have a website, you get email from a marketing company that want to bring your SEO up. Now at least you understand what they're talking about, and you can relate to what they're telling you. And you can actually value the service that they provide. Here's an example of how you search for keywords. You actually put the words you expect that work for our industry. Eyeglasses, you can actually use brands as well. Eyewear, vision is a good word. It's a very popular word. And you can see how popular they are. But to save you the trouble, my office staff have the list of the keywords. If you email me at mdolabany@dolabanyeyewear.com, we'll send you the keyword list. In the past, we all used Yellow Pages, right? What do we spend, $1,000, $1,200 a month? Well, most of you don't advertise in Yellow Pages anymore, am I right? I don't see many Yellow Pages. Actually, we don't even get them in the office or at home anymore. I sometimes see Yellow Pages in hotels, and they're only this big. That's it. And maybe 1 page for Optical, and it doesn't have ads. It just have the names and the phone numbers. So all that budget that we assigned for Yellow Pages, now it's time to move it to the website because that really is your new Yellow Pages. You want to create a domain name. Domain name is important to be simple and related to your business. If you are ABC Optical, it should be abcoptical.com. .com is the ultimate, by the way, and .com stands for commercial. Actually, even places in Hong Kong or Brazil, they want .com. That's why you see sometimes .brazil.com or .hongkong.com because .com is the most popular in the world. Someone might try to convince you to buy some others like .net and all that. Unless you are Pepsi Corporation or Ford or GM, you don't need to really spend the money. .com is the ultimate if you can get your name there. You want to keep the name simple. You want to avoid symbols or hyphen or slashes because you want the customer to remember the name. If your name is not available, by the way, there's a way to try to get it. You will watch the expiration date of the person that has that name, and you mark your calendar at midnight that day. If that person doesn't go in and renew, you go in and grab it. Sorry? You can look it up. I think Alexa.com or A&1 and all of these hosting companies will tell you the expiration date. I'll tell you who owns it. Sometimes if you look for a name and it's not available, they'll even contact you and say, we can buy it for you. And they'll contact the owner and try to buy it off. But that's one way to try to do it. My brother has Dolabany.com, so I can't get it. I have Dolabany Eyewear.com. So he's a jeweler, and he has his own jewelry store. So I said, you know, my business is growing. I can use Dolabany.com. He goes, oh, good luck with that. I was there one time, and he renewed for 5 years. So I don't think I'm going to get it. I wouldn't do it to he will do it to me, but I won't do it to him. Now, to buy domain, you can do it on one-on-one GoDaddy. We see a lot of GoDaddy commercials on the Super Bowl, I think they've had them. If you don't have a website and you don't plan to create a website, at the very least, buy the domain name. Because once somebody owns that name, nobody else can have it. Now, you can have your name in the state of Florida and somebody else have the same name in another state, right? This is different now. Somebody in China or Hawaii or anywhere else can have your name, and that's it. You want to also contact a hosting company. Hosting company, basically, that's where your website sits and interact with the rest of the internet. Unless you're Amazon, you have your own hosting facilities. Otherwise, you need a hosting company. Now, when you do subscribe, you'll have a template where you can drop in pictures into this template. And there are different templates. You pick the one you like. You want to pay attention to your NAP. NAP is name, address, and phone number. We'll talk about that a little bit more every time. The reason you want to pay attention to your NAP is because the search engine would look into your website. So if somebody is looking for eyeglasses and you don't have the word eyeglasses in your website, they're not going to find you. They're not going to look for you. And phone number, too. You want the phone number in there because if somebody's looking you into the phone number, they actually go in to read your phone number. If somebody's looking for you by name, they'll go and read your name. You want to show your services, hours. I travel a lot, and I look up some of my customers trying to find the hours. They're not there. I was with one customer one time, and I said, doctor, I don't see your hours there. She said, oh, well, I didn't put them in case I wanted to change them. That doesn't make sense. You put them in and then change them later. When you take pictures and put them in the website, we all know digital cameras will give you a number, correct? We'll assign a number for each picture. You want to name it. And you want to use keywords to name it. That will help your SEO. And you'll see that a little bit more later. Another thing is, when a customer finds you, you want your phone number to be easy to dial. They don't have to dial the numbers. They just press the button where it says dial and directly goes to your phone. You want your website to be responsive. What do I mean by that? I said that earlier in the earlier class. If you're a consumer using a phone, you want your website page to size down to this phone. If they're using a tablet, it will size into the tablet. If they're using a desktop, it will size into the desktop. It's very important to be mobile ready. If it's not mobile ready, your screen, your image, your website page is too big to fit in there. Google will not give you priority. You lose your SEO. You can have the best SEO in the world. You're doing everything right. They'll drop you down to the bottom. Last year, they put out an announcement in April 2015 that they're going to favor mobile-ready website over the ones that are not mobile-ready. Why? Because they realize there's more consumers using mobile devices than ever before. And that makes sense. Because their business model is as follows. Provide the best results for the keywords that consumer enters into their website. If they don't provide the best results, their business model fails. And if your website is not matching to the keywords, you're not going to get served up. You're not going to come up in the SEO. A bounce rate. You create a website. In the past, we had a website with music. Remember that? Now you don't see much music on websites. If I'm working for somebody in an office, and I'm not supposed to be surfing in the internet, and I'm on your website and there's a music and my supervisor around in the area, what am I going to do? Leave the website. Exit. If people do that too often, and then Google will assume that your website is not related to the keyword that the consumer found you under. See, it's all about keywords. So you want to avoid the music. That way you can improve your bounce rate. You can look up your bounce rate on Alexa.com. In the office, every single computer we have is on our website. We're always on our website because we don't use catalogs. So we're always moving from page to page. In your office, you should have your website on all the time. And try to move at least a few pages a day to improve your bounce rate. Here's an example of a website. You can see on top we have the name. We have the address and the phone number. That's the NAP. That's what the search engine goes into a website looking for these things. You can see the website is informative. You can see the hours. And it talks a little bit about the service that they provide. And you can see here quick links to social media. And also a sign-up area to leave your email on the website. Now here there's one mistake in this website. The name and address and phone number are not text. They are actually like a logo. It's a picture. It's an image. That's bad. Simply because the search engine can't read this. They can't read your name and phone number. They can't read your NAP. So you want that in text. You can go to my website, Dolabany.com, and marketing resources. And there you'll actually be able to watch this class that I recorded here last year. And it's being recorded right now as well. You can also target specific issues. If you want to do more local directories, you can download a PDF that will show you step by step. Furthermore, my staff and I are willing to review your website and send you a review by email and send it to you in print as well. And give you the remedies of things that you need to improve. And those remedies are in the class that's online. Now, you don't have to be my customer to do this. You're welcome. If you're not my customer, I will help. I will be glad to help. Now, most people assume that we do websites for business. This is not what we do. We only do frames. This is me giving back to the industry and helping you and helping the independent to improve in business. And there's a sign-up sheet, if we can rotate it around, for you to sign and give me your email. And I'll keep you updated. If Google comes up with something new, some changes to be made, I will inform you about it. For example, last year when they changed about the mobile devices. By the way, when mobile makes changes, the SEO companies will write you. Oh, we have to do this. We have to improve your website. Otherwise, you lose your space in the search engine optimization. We have to do this and that. I will warn you if you have to do it or not. Most times, you don't have to do it. I will send out an email blast and let you know. Or, if you're not sure, email me. We will look it up and let you know. Now, here we're back in the website again. You can see they're talking about lenses. The reason for that is they want you to stick around and read and be informed of the things that they offer in their office. If your website is not informative, is not interesting, the consumer is likely to leave and go somewhere else. Here you can see another article about lenses. You can also see every time they have their hours and they have their link to social media, and they also have a place for you to sign up and leave your email address. Why they want your email address? So they can contact you later and keep in touch. This is the final item in the course that we'll talk about. Email blast is very, very important. So here you are. You created a website. You made the most beautiful website in the world, but nobody's visiting. That's the SEO part. That's the part that we're going to work on now. Just because you have a website is not good enough. We know 70% of consumers go on the internet not to shop. They're on there because they want to see who's around me, who's open what time, what's your hours, what's your staff qualifications, what do you offer for product, for services. And then they'll decide, rather than drive from store to store, they'll decide where to go. So in this case, we want to improve ourselves on local directories. Google, this is the search engine that we saw earlier, that page. That's also a local directory. Bing and Yahoo, these are the three major ones. How do you put yourself on there? You contact them. They'll either call you back to verify that you are the owner of the website, or they'll send you a postcard. That's it, you're done. You are on a local directory. You want to make sure the information you put on one local directory is the same as the second and the third all the way through. You want to make sure your NAP, name and address and phone number, is the same. So if you have a DBA business or corporate and you're not sure which one you want to use, whichever one you want to use, as long as it's the same each time. Because you want to get credit for each one. Other directories, we have Foursquare, Yelp, Manta, YP. YP stands for Yellow Pages. They can't sell advertising on Yellow Pages. Now they are on the internet. They are adapting. Be careful of Yelp. Anybody have a problem with Yelp? No one? You did? You were paid advertiser first, right? Okay. I read a lot of articles about Yelp where if you are a paid advertiser and you pull out, they start erasing your good reviews to make you come back. Of course, you would want to sue them for that, right? Well, people try to sue them and they win every time. So be careful, Yelp. Now, part of being on the local directory, a consumer will have the opportunity to leave reviews about your business. There are positive reviews and negative ones. Anybody have negative reviews? They're all good opticians here. To solve an issue, to solve the issue with a negative review, you want to follow the 3 R's. Respond, repair, and report. The first thing you do is respond to the review, say, I'm the manager, I'm the owner, I'm on top of it, I will look into it for you. You repair the issue. Whatever you do, if you do issue a refund, do not indicate that on the review because you'll have everybody else asking for a refund. And then report. Report that it's all done, you took care of it, everything's fine. That way you actually negated the negative part of the review. And you can, in some cases, you can convince the customer to go back and fix their reviews.
Who are you reporting it to?
Sorry?
Who are you reporting it to, the website?
Well, you can respond. If the review is about you, you should be able to respond about the review.
Yeah, you're repairing what happened, and then you report to who?
You report on the review itself. You go back. Yeah, you're back. Hey, I took care of it. So that way, when I'm a consumer looking at your review, I say, oh, look, they actually responded and repaired it. Hotels do this a lot, by the way. I travel a lot, more than my wife wants me to. And I read a lot of reviews about hotels. And you can see that actually in the hotel industry, there's a lot of reviews. And you can see, even when the review is positive, the manager goes on there and say, hey, thank you for leaving me the positive review. We appreciate it. We hope to see you back again. And if they had a bad experience, we apologize. We repaired the issue. Test it. Go on TripAdvisor and look up any hotel. You'll see. You'll see the amount of reviews are on there. Now, some managers don't respond and some managers do. It's important to respond. Even if it's a good review, respond to it. Here's a positive review. You can see it's a 5-star. And it talks about service, service, service. I wish they would train other retailers how to treat their customers. That's an incredible review. You want to respond to that also. Here's something one of my customers does. He passes a business card that tells the consumer how to go on these websites, such as Google, and leave a review. That's a good idea. Give them step-by-step detail. This is another customer of mine. It gives them this postcard where they can just scan the Q bar with their phone and takes them straight to the place where they can leave the review. Makes it easy for the customer. You can also use their email to send them the link to where they can leave the review. That's why it's important to collect customers' email. Yes? Q bar? That's free. Email me and I'll send you the link. You can just Google it. Now, if you decide to have multiple local listing and local directories, you want to synchronize your listing. Remember we said earlier, keep your nap the same in each. You have the opportunity to add pictures. Again, when you add pictures, rename them with keywords. So now we are at your SEO chart. We started off where you had no presence on the internet. You did have a website, that's great, but no presence whatsoever. Now, because you are on local directories, and you're linking all the local directories to your website, that's called a backlink. And this is how you increase your SEO chart. You'll understand this a little bit more when we go on a couple more steps. Now at least they serve you up. You are at the bottom of the list, but at least you're not on page 2. If I go on Google and look for something, and I don't see it on page 1 or near the top, I know it's my fault. I used the wrong word. I leave, I come back in with a new keywords. The third step is we're going to talk about YouTube and making a video. YouTube, we have more than 1 billion users a month, 6 billion hours of video each month. 100 hours of video are uploaded a minute. You're going to compete with all that. You're going to make a video interesting enough that someone on YouTube is going to watch it. Or you don't have to worry about that part. If nobody watches your video, it's okay. I'll show you why. You create a free account on YouTube. You don't have to have a video to put on YouTube. You can start with pictures. And you compile the pictures together, use a software, and you have a video. You don't want your video to be too long. I used to say keep it under 2 minutes. Now I say keep it under 1 minute. Why? Because the consumer is not patient enough. They want to get the message quick and get out. So keep the video short. If your message is long, make it a multiple video. You'll have an opportunity to put the title for the video. That will be visible to everybody. And you'll have an opportunity to put a description as well. In the title, you want to start it with HTTP. Why? Because the search engine looks for that. This is very important. Don't start with W, start with HTTP. And the tags is where you put the keywords. No one sees the tags. You're the only one see the tags. So eyewear, eyeglasses. You can also use brand names. Make sure you have permission of the brand. There are some software to help you create video. Even Google itself will allow you to create video on their website for free. If you can imagine, this is a video of a cute dog. How's that? A little puppy, golden retriever. That's your competitor, by the way. So is your video interesting enough that they're going to skip this and watch yours? I remember I said earlier, it's okay if they don't see your video. You know why? Because we're going to create a backlink. That's why I want to put the HTTP. We want to create a backlink from your video to your website. What you're doing is you're telling the search engine, look at me. I am making a video. I am on local directories. Pick me as the best answer for the keyword that the consumer put in the search bar, which might be eyeglasses. It's that simple. But so far, we only did 2 things. There are more to be done. And each step will improve your SEO better. So here we have now a YouTube video. That's a backlink. You were in the bottom of the list. Now you're the second one from the bottom. Social media. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google+. You want to be on Google+, even though not many people use it. Why? Because Google, it belongs to Google. And they likely move you up in the SEO. That's right, not many people use it. I'll look for that. I'll get you the answer later. What you're doing is telling Google that you have authority. You're out there, you are doing the social media, you're doing the video, and you're doing all the aspects of improving your SEO. In Facebook, you can have 2 types of pages. One is called a fan page for your business that has no limit of subscribers. You get likes on that. And one is the personal. That one you can have up to 5,000. And be careful, you don't friend too many people, too many individuals that you don't know personally. And then your account will be blocked. LinkedIn is for professionals. So anytime any of your customers walk in and then they finish their visit, look them up on LinkedIn, look them up on Facebook, and friend them and send them a connection. Because you are a local business, it's important that you socialize locally. You're not going to sell eyeglasses to somebody in Hawaii. It's all local. So I would start friending the mayor, even the pizza store, pizza restaurant, or hair salon. Friend them, and you'll have access to their friends. And their friends likely to be all local, from the same town that you're in, and maybe the next 5 towns around it. You're not looking to do national. You're not promoting yourself nationally. You're just going to do local. And it's easier, and that makes it a lot easier for us. Chamber of Commerce is a great one, too. You want to post often, and you want to put important information. If you send a lot of silly things, your customer may not pay attention to your posts. Now, I have to tell you something about social media. It's very addictive. You could be middle of the night on there doing things. So kind of have a routine where you're in and out 2 or 3 times a day and you're out. Or 2 or 3 times a week. It depends how much you want to do. This is my page. We created a new page that we started off with 100. So 2 summers ago, I started fooling around with the Facebook page. And I started friending more people and sending out more. And in here, we have about 1,000. But right now, it's over 2,700. So every time I put out a post, there's a possibility 2,700 of my friends will see it. On the other hand, only 10% of those will see it. Keep that in mind. So the more friends you have, the better. Here, to give you an example of how I use social media, I sent Rick a friend request. He says, what are you going to add to my life if I friend you? So I made my pitch, and he's in Maryland. I made my pitch to him. And he said, great, send me your sales rep. I sent him a sales rep, and I'm happy to report he's a loyal customer. So you can interact with your customers. You can see their birthday. You can see that they have a happy occasion, a wedding. You make a comment. It's like making a phone call to one of your customers through the social media. Here, one of my customers in California posted some of the fantasy masks I used to design. Some of you might be familiar with those. So there was a big buzz about it. So I started posting my own pictures of the fantasy masks. I put one every Thursday. We don't make them anymore, but we put them up there just to create a buzz around the company, the company's name. Here's some comments of customers putting minus 23 diopters in one of my frames. So now we're back to your chart again. We started off with having a website, local directories, social media, video, and you can see you're moving up. Now you are the 3rd from the top. The search engine is recognizing your value, recognizing that you are out there. Again, they want to deliver the best results to the keyword that entered by the consumer in the search bar. Now we're going to talk about blogs. Most people hate that because you actually have to write. But writing is good because when you write something, you become an expert. So you want to blog. You can use services. Fiverr. Anybody here uses Fiverr? Yeah? $5. You get a lot of stuff done for $5. You can design a logo. You can do some Photoshop work for $5 or multiple of 5. You can buy articles also. You can subcontract or freelance, ask for freelancers to bid on your article and write it for you. You could also purchase something called PLR, private label rights. You can purchase articles. Yes, it's ethical and it's not against the law. You can purchase them and post them as your blog. You can change some of the keywords. If you take articles from the internet or magazines or other sources, you want to credit the author. One thing you want to avoid to do is copy and paste the whole thing as is. You know why? Because the search engine will know that. Will know that you copy-pasted. So if you take somebody else's article, give them the credit, and make some changes, add some of your keywords, and it'll be fine. It's free to start a blog. Here are some of the places where you can start them. Tumblr and WordPress and Blogger. You really don't have to be a professional to do this. Of course, we don't want to forget about the backlink to our website. We're back to the chart now. We started off just the website, and then we added the local directories, we added the video, we're adding the blogs, and you can see you're moving up again. Now you are near the top. As long as you're doing more than your competitor. And let me tell you, in this business, in this industry, most independents do very little. You just have to do more than your competitor, and you'll be up there. The search engine looks to see who's doing more. I'll give you a little analogy. I'm a search engine. Somebody types in eyeglasses. And maybe they'll say eyeglasses in Weston. So now the search engine goes into your website. In the description, you put eyeglasses. So they go in there because those are keywords. They go into websites. If you are in Weston, and Weston is part of your address, they'll select you. They'll select everybody that's in Weston. And then they'll look and see who's done work on social media. Who did the most work on social media? Okay, well, that's the one. Oh, okay, well, let's take a look now. Who's doing more on blogging? Oh, that gets more points. And that's how they pick the best option on top, and they put the second one after that, and so on. Now, they don't tell us that's how they do it, because their business model is a secret. But they do tell us what steps we can do to improve our presence on the web and on the search engine. And this is how they pick the best one, and they put it on top of the search results. Press release. Anything can be a press release. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas. You are here today. This is a press release. You go back on your website and put in a press release that you were here. Yeah, you learned something. I hope you're learning something. PR log, free press release. These are some of the websites where you can do it. And it is, yes, it is for free. And it also improves your SEO. Now you're on top. You've done so many things that the search engine would likely to pick you as the first choice. Now, you've done all this, but you want to repeat it as often as you can. Why? Because your competitor might be doing the same thing. You want to constantly do it so you can maintain your space on top. And if you do it and you repeat, you'll likely come up in multiple times, not just once. Now, wouldn't you think a consumer would pick you if you come up multiple times? Wow, this place is so great that they come up 3 times on the search results. Why would I want to bother with the ones in the bottom? Here's your competitor, by the way. You just sent him to page 2. And nobody goes on page 2. You can hide a dead body on page 2. Nobody will find it. Here's an example of one of my customers that when you go to search engine and you put in looking for that area, you can see her coming up 3 times. 1, 2, 4 times. Now you might say to yourself, you know what, this is a lot of work. And you're right, it is work. And your time might be more valuable doing other things, cutting pair of lenses maybe. So you can now have other companies that do this for you. There's a company now on the show floor that does this. You can sublease the whole thing to them, subcontract it. Advertise, that's a play on word. iHub. Now, at the very least, now you know what to expect them to do for you. If they don't put you on local directories, call them up and say, hey, how come I'm not on local directories? Mark said it would help my SEO. Actually, the whole thing started for me when we wanted to hire someone. She said she wants to charge me $1,000 a month, and all I had to do is write 4 articles a month. and she will post them everywhere on the internet. I said, great. So we looked into it a little bit, and we discovered that all she had to do is copy, paste, and click. There's a software that will take your article and put it everywhere. It will cost her about $1,000 a year to buy the software, to subscribe to the software. And she copy, paste, and click. That's it. And she was going to charge me $1,000 for doing this 4 times a month. And this is how the whole thing started. We started looking into all this. We started looking into blogging. If you go to my website, there's a blog. I write stories about my travel, and I use keywords in the article. I don't have to do as much as you guys do, simply because I'm B2B. So there are things that are more important for me to do. But in your case, these are the important steps because you want to come up on the search engine. Because we know millennials are out there constantly looking on the internet. Now we're going to talk about email. That's the part I use a lot in my business because I'm B2B. But you also want to use it as well. You want to collect emails all you can. Today I sent you, I circled the sign-up sheet because I want to collect your emails. I want to keep in touch with you. Someone calls you on the phone, get their email. They come into the store, have a sign-up sheet. Have a tablet to sign up their name, their email. We saw the websites earlier that they have on their screen. Every page, there's an opportunity for a consumer to leave their email. You want to collect those emails. This page is also known call to action, where they actually leave you the email. That's what I meant. You see how they have this? I showed you this multiple times. They have it on every page. We talked about reviews. You can actually send them an email, ask them to leave you a review. Reviews are good. In our industry, there's very little reviews. So here's the review, the positive review I had on the slide earlier. Could you take a look down the bottom here? The consumer says, my only suggestion would be to have emails with new types of frames available on sale. Keep me in the loop. Highly recommended. The consumer is asking us to take their email. They're begging us to take their email because they're used to it. You go to a restaurant, they take your email. I go to Home Depot, they say, do you want your receipt emailed to you? Well, that's not because they want to save paper. It's because they want to grab onto your email. The consumer is demanding it. Keep me in touch. According to Vision Council of America, eyeglasses are purchased every 2.2 years. So what are you going to do during this 2.2 years? How are you going to keep in touch with your customers? There's part of our brain, it's called reticular activating system. That's the part that's responsible for receiving our commercial. Pepsi spends $200 million a year. So does American Airlines, by the way, even though they dominate the market. $200 million a year. So when you go to a restaurant and you think of a soft drink, you'll think of Pepsi. It's that simple. The same thing car companies. They are in magazines, they are on TV all the time, they're feeding you the brand name. So when you need to buy a car, you'll think of their brand. You can do the same thing. You can do it using email. You would send out an email once a month or once every other month to your customers. Talk to them about things that are important to them. Talk to them about back to school. Talk to them about sports safety for sports. Contact lenses. I'll show you the slide here. There's this young lady, a student, rips out own cornea after cheap Halloween contact lenses. She bought over-the-counter contact lenses, and she lost her cornea. Now, if I'm a parent and you send me an email around sometime in October to warn me about Halloween contact lenses, won't I think of you the next time I need a pair of eyeglasses? Yes. Wouldn't that be a fair thing to assume? Then you got to write me things that I can connect to, I feel emotional connection to. Now, you can send me a coupon if you want, but come on. Can we get cheap glasses online? Yes. You want to send a coupon, that's fine, but it's not the main attraction. The main attraction is to let me know that you care about me. You have new lenses, new ideas, send them to me by email. You have to be also careful. You want to give them the option to unsubscribe. You know what I mean by that. Every email you receive, down the bottom it says unsubscribe. If you do not wish to receive email from this company anymore, unsubscribe there. You want to give that option too, please. It can be expensive. There are companies that help you with the email. Actually, MailChimp. Anybody heard of MailChimp? Yeah, they advertise on NPR. They'll do it for you for free. Up to a number of emails. It might be 2,500. Anything beyond that, you need to upgrade. Now, again, you don't have to do all this, but now you understand how it's done. And if you want to do it, that's fine. But at least you appreciate what you're paying for and what they expect. You ever heard of autoresponder? When you go on somebody's website and leave your email and they automatically respond to your email, that's an autoresponder. But it also does something else. You can set up your emails once for the whole year. And automatically will send those emails on the anniversary that you choose. Is it 30-day anniversary? And they'll send the email number 1, 30 days later, 60 days later, number 2, and so on. And anytime you want, you can go in manually and put in your separate email if you want. But it will do it automatically from the time the customer signs up. Like I said earlier, if you want me to evaluate your website, write me at mdolabany@dolabany-eyewear.com, and we'll do it for you in writing and email. If you want the keyword list, write me, I will send you the keyword list. If you have any suggestion about subjects to tackle and study and research, I will prepare it for you in a class. Thank you for your time.